we've had some narrow margins in this fixture in the last 10 years. I was wondering what you thought was different about this Welsh display, even having them won last year. And do you think they could go all the way? Some people are already describing them as World Cup contenders.
I don't think that's for me to talk about, really, is it? We've played our game against them. We're on to the next thing. They won. We're on to the next game. It's not my place to talk about who's going to win and who's not.
Thank you. Third, please.
So, you've seen it anyway, you don't need me to, like as a rugby player, as a former player, I'm embarrassed about that. As a rugby player, I'm embarrassed about that. I don't know anymore. I don't know the rules anymore. Honestly, don't know the rules anymore.
Yes.
You got to take care, mate. You got to look after players, but not to an extreme where you're looking after players just for doctors and lawyers. You got to look after players for players. Mike's in the game sort of conspired against us early on. I'm not quite sure why we'd be collapsing the scrum when we're pushing the other team forward, and the referee penalises them and then changes the decision to us. Well, to penalise them and then the linesman tells him, and those types of things change the momentum you're building. You're at the World Cup, so it's going to be tight. Like you're playing against all good teams, so you've got to build a game as well, and not always going to be in front. You got to build pressure and build, like, I suppose, positive outcomes and momentum even when you're behind, sometimes, because sometimes the scoring's not always in your control. So I'm not worried about it at all. I think when we're starting well, we've got to convert maybe some more points, and that could come at some stage in the next game.
Get on with it from there.
And I've got my doubts about that because I don't understand anymore. Yeah, it's not, mate. They all seem spooked. Like everyone seems worried about. Like they're all worried about stuff so much. I'm not sure why they're worried. Players aren't worried. But then it's affecting everything else on the field as well. Decisions on all types of crazy stuff. And then I heard that the English guy got off at the suspension thing. I go, wow. So, I haven't really said anything there, have I? I just made a whole bunch of... But, it shows, if you're not sort of confused, then, maybe the lights going out at the end was a bit of a symbol.